Most gardeners think more fertilizer means more growth, but that's exactly what's quietly destroying their soil. If your plants look green at first and then suddenly stall, or your yields drop even though you're feeding regularly, you're not dealing with a nutrient shortage, you're dealing with a soil imbalance caused by over-reliance on chemical inputs. Chemical fertilizers don't build soil, they bypass it. They feed the plant directly, but over time, they weaken the microbial life that actually sustains long-term fertility. That's why you end up needing more and more fertilizer just to maintain the same results. Before you fix that, you need to know what's happening in your soil right now. One of the simplest tools I use is a 4-in-1 soil meter that reads moisture, pH, temperature, and light. Because here's where most people go wrong. They keep adding inputs without realizing their soil is already too acidic or too dry. I've made that mistake before, especially when transitioning away from synthetic fertilizers. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It helps you stop guessing and start making decisions based on real conditions. Now let's get into the method that changed how I build soil and why it works better than chemical fertilizer when used correctly. This is what the ancient fire method actually does to your soil. The fire trick isn't about burning your garden. It's about controlled burning of organic material to create a specific kind of input, ash and partially charred material that feeds soil in a completely different way than synthetic fertilizer. When you burn clean plant material, like dry branches, crop residues, or natural wood, you're really concentrating minerals. Potassium, calcium, and trace nutrients all become immediately available. But, even more importantly, you're creating a form of carbon that interacts with soil biology rather than just bypassing it. In one of my backyard beds, I actually tested this directly. One section got chemical fertilizer and the other received just a light application of ash from burned prunings. The plants with chemical fertilizer grew fast at first, but they quickly became dependent. The ash-treated section, it grew a little slower during the first week, but then it overtook the other with stronger stems and more consistent growth. That's really the difference between just feeding plants and actually building your soil. But here's where, honestly, most people get the fire method wrong. They just overdo it. Ash is powerful stuff. Too much of it can raise your soil pH in a hurry and actually lock out nutrients. I've seen folks dump buckets of ash into their beds, then wonder why their plants turn yellow. The right approach is always controlled, minimal application. In my raised beds, I use about 1 handful of fine ash per square meter. That's enough to shift nutrient availability without overwhelming the system. And, I never apply it all at once. I spread it lightly, water it in, and then I just observe how the plants respond over the next few days. This is really where patience beats force. There's a hidden advantage to fire-treated inputs that most gardeners miss. It reduces disease pressure. When you burn plant material, you're not just creating minerals, you're also eliminating pathogens that might be present in raw organic matter. That means you're adding clean inputs back into your soil. I noticed this in a bed where I had recurring fungal issues. After switching from raw mulch to partially burned material, the problem reduced significantly over the next season. It's not a magic cure, but it does shift the balance in your favor. This is how I actually use the fire method in real gardens. In backyard setups, I collect dry plant waste, prunings, fallen branches, old stems, and burn them in a controlled way. Not a full burn to powder, but enough to create a mix of ash and lightly charred material. I let it cool completely, then crush any larger pieces. Then I apply it lightly over the soil surface and water it in deeply. In raised beds, I combine this with compost. The ash provides minerals and the compost supports microbial life. That balance is what creates long-term fertility. In containers, I go extremely light. A pinch mixed into the top layer every few weeks is enough. Containers are sensitive and it's easy to overcorrect. And in hydroponic systems, I don't use ash directly, but I apply the same principle, balanced mineral input instead of overloading with synthetic nutrients. Now here's where this method outperforms chemical fertilizers. Consistency. Chemical fertilizers give you a spike. The fire method gives you stability. When you rely on synthetic feeding, you're constantly chasing the next application. Miss one cycle and your plants show it immediately. With mineral-rich inputs from ash, you're building a reserve in the soil. Plants access what they need gradually, and microbial life helps regulate that process. In one of my tomato beds, I stopped using chemical fertilizer completely and switched to ash plus compost. The first season was a transition, but by the second season, the plants were stronger and yields were more consistent without constant feeding. That's when you know your soil is working with you, not against you. There's one more layer to this that makes all the difference: timing. Applying ash at the wrong time can cause more harm than good. I apply it either before planting or during early growth stages. That's when plants benefit most from the available minerals. I avoid applying it during peak fruiting, unless I'm using very small amounts, because too much potassium at the wrong time can throw off nutrient balance. Again, this is where knowing your soil matters. If your pH is already high, adding ash can push it too far. That's why I always check conditions before applying anything. This is the part most modern gardening advice ignores. Soil is a system, not a container. You can't just add inputs and expect consistent results if you don't understand how they interact. The ancient fire method works because it respects that system. It adds minerals, supports microbial balance, and builds a foundation that improves over time. Chemical fertilizers skip that process. They give you quick results, but they don't build anything lasting. That's why so many gardeners feel stuck. They're feeding plants, but their soil never improves. If you're getting value from this, subscribe to the channel, because this is the kind of practical, experience-based knowledge that actually changes how your garden performs. And here's what happens when you get this right. Your soil becomes easier to manage. Water retention improves, plants recover faster from stress, you spend less time correcting problems and more time harvesting. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens consistently. And that's what serious gardening is about. Not quick fixes, but reliable systems. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just to grow plants, it's to build soil that supports growth season after season. When you understand how to use simple methods like controlled burning and mineral inputs, you stop depending on external solutions and start creating your own. Share this with someone who's tired of chasing results with fertilizers that never seem to work long term. Sometimes the most effective methods are the ones that have been around the longest, and if you want to keep learning how to grow better, stronger, more productive gardens, subscribe and stay connected.